And for more on the celebrations there, we're joined live by our correspondent Tony Chung in Bangkok. Well, an important ceremony for the world's longest-serving monarch, Tony, but the king is not in good health. How is this affecting the celebrations there, and what are well-wishers saying?
Well, they have been not surprisingly muted. They started early this morning at about 6 a.m. with a procession of 770 monks outside the Grand Palace in Bangkok. The Prime Minister was there, the Cabinet, many other senior officials, but the one notable absentee was the King himself, who remains in hospital. 770 monks waiting to receive offerings outside the Grand Palace in Bangkok. The ceremony and the auspicious number of monks, 20th anniversary of the King's ascension to the throne. Prime Minister General Prayut led his cabinet in presenting arms, but this was a relatively low-key celebration, and one notable absentee was King Bhumibol himself. He remains in hospital, and his well-being was the major concern for those subjects who'd come to pay their respects.
Yes, I wish he will get better soon. Everything he's done to the country has been important. He took care of us.
I'm very concerned. I hope he recovers and he's healthy like he was before.
King Bhumibol Adulyadej is now the longest reigning monarch in the world. After a difficult ascension to the throne when his elder brother died suddenly, he became deeply revered as Thailand developed into a regional power. 10 years ago, an estimated 1 million people came out to celebrate his reign. Since then, however, he's been in poor health. When seen in public, he's often confined to a wheelchair, and he appears increasingly frail. Recent spells in hospital have treated him for a stomach inflammation and fluid on the brain, and he hasn't been seen in public for months. King Bhumibol has spent much of the last 5 years here at Sirirat Hospital. His health has deteriorated considerably, and he's currently recovering from emergency heart surgery. It's widely assumed here in Thailand, although little discussed, that his reign will soon come to an end. That has led to great uncertainty in Thailand. The royalist junta has stated its primary concern is to protect the monarchy, and they show no sign of returning power to democratically elected officials while the king remains unwell. Discussing the monarchy, the succession, or even the state of the king's health in Thailand is not just a social taboo. It can be a crime punishable with a jail sentence of 20 years. That means that most Thais have been unable to discuss what happens when their monarch inevitably passes away.
According to the Thai traditional, we are not allowed to think of that way. We still believe that the health of His Majesty King will go long, and we can enjoy being his subject forever.
In this modern era, 70 years on the throne is a remarkable achievement. But Thailand will soon have to accept the fact that King Bhumibol's reign is coming to a close.
Well, as you mentioned, Tony, King Bhumibol is a highly revered figure. He's been the only monarch in most Thai people's lives. So just how important is he to people in Thailand as well as the political stability in the country?
Well, as I was just saying in that piece, the celebrations have been very muted today, but as a sign of the respect which people have for His Majesty the King, many people have come out today, certainly in the capital of Bangkok, wearing yellow shirts, and that is to show their love for the King. They're honouring him. His position in terms of politics is rather complicated. Of course, this is a constitutional monarchy, and as such, the King sits above politics. He should not have any involvement. But the truth is, there is a substantial struggle going on within Thailand that has spilled out onto the streets in military coups, in street protests. And the royal family, to a certain extent, has been dragged into that. I think it's no coincidence that has coincided with the King's deteriorating health. In the past, the King was able to act as an independent figure, sorting out tussles between different political divides. As such, he's not really been able to do that since the military coup of 2006. There is also a certain amount of uncertainty about the succession. And I think the greatest problem is that Thais aren't able to discuss this openly. They have very strong lèse majesté rules which are being very vigorously imposed by the current military government. So no one can actually air their issues about the monarchy or generally about Thai society. So it remains something of a festering sore.
Well, thanks very much, Tony, for that. That's our Tony Chung live with us from Bangkok.